Welcome to MLM Nation, a podcast of leaders, by leaders, for leaders, hosted by Simon Chan. He's built a team of over 200,000 and is now a full-time MLM coach and trainer. So if you're ready to level up your business, join us now. Let's do this.
Hey, MLM Nation, it's Simon Chan. What's up? Special episode today. I'm going to give you a recap of main lessons, aha moments, and also talk about the business trends in the profession. These are highlights from the Leaders of Leaders Mastermind I just got back from in Hawaii, in the island of Kauai. It was awesome time. These Leaders of Leaders Masterminds, they're run by Rob Sperry. This is my third straight one I've been to. I highly recommend them. Yeah, the next one we're doing in Spain, and if you're interested, definitely let me know. I can get you in there. But the requirements, you do have to be a six-figure earner. Okay. It's awesome. And I'll share a few things, the highlights of the trends. So anyway, I've been going to these all the time. I'm honored. I get to speak there, but also just meet with legends at this event. It was Tom Chenault, who's been in the profession 38 years, John Hammock, I think 40 plus years, Todd Falcone, almost 28 or 29 years. We had the Burt Green, who was one of the founding distributors of one of the legacy companies out there, almost 34 years of experience. It's incredible. So just mingling, networking with these, and also some of the new up-and-comers, like Tracy Peterson, owning the business for 2-3 years, making it happen really fast. Julia Thornhill, really good stuff. So I'm going to share a lot of the main takeaways from that event. Okay, but hey, you do need, if you're interested, let me know. But you do need to be a six-figure earner. And if you're not, you want to go to these events, and you can check out my social media profile. It was an amazing venue. We did it at this guy's ranch. It was like 250-acre ranch. I got to swim in a waterfall, like a stream. That was actually one of my first times. Believe it, I'm a city boy. I've been in stream once, only one time, other time in my life. Okay, in Vancouver, but it was like in the city park. But this was the first time out in the wild doing it. So, and that tells you how deprived I've been in my childhood, just growing up in the city. But that was one of my coolest moments, just to be in a waterfall. The water was a little cold, but it just felt like a cold shower. Just being there for 15 minutes was so refreshing. But go check out the pictures. Really beautiful scenery. I always had like a private beach to myself for one evening, hanging out there. But anyway, let's go to the lessons. Okay, if you're not six figures, that alone should be a motivation to go and make it there so that you can go to this event. But before I talk about, I just want to share one of the happiest moments in my life. I posted this on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen it, but happiest moment, and it relates to network marketing, right? So most of you know, it applies to mindset, how you think. And most of you know, all three of my boys are very hardcore into baseball. We both play all travel ball, intense. I work with them. They practice almost 7 days a week. If I'm home, every day we are working. Okay, even on vacations, we bring a bat to swing in the parking lot. Even when we went to Vancouver last year when it snowed, we would take a couple swings. It was freezing. We hit snowballs. We just always work on the mechanics just to get building the muscle memory. So my oldest son always had it easy. He's really advanced for his age. My youngest son is also really advanced. He's actually got invited. Instagram marketing. Right? All three have Instagram accounts. Got invited to play on one of the top teams in the entire LA area for 8-year-olds. And so that's one of the reasons I actually came back early from the mastermind. I took a red eye. I'm a little tired right now if I'm rubbing my eyes. You're watching on the YouTube video. And I got back, took a red eye, slept like 3.5 hours, and then took an hour nap at home. And right after this recording, we're going to practice and then going to play on this team. Right. So, and my oldest one had the game early, had to leave at 5:45. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see him there. But all three are very intense. But my second child, he's compared to like Little League, Rec League, he's good. He's a great player. But compared to his oldest brothers, older and younger brother, not there. Right. And he knows it there. And it's always been frustrating because I can't relate to him. He's like the middle child or any child that you can't relate to. He's just different. But lately, we've definitely gotten a lot closer, just spending time. Like the baseball has helped me. So this year, I make sure on Sundays, I spend time with them. So if it's any tournament stuff, on Saturdays, my oldest one, Sundays with the younger ones. And just the bonding times allowed me to get a lot closer to him. But he still struggled. And he just can't hit as well as his other brothers do. And sometimes I feel bad for him because, we're not supposed to compare, right? But deep down as parents, we always a little disappointed, or we do compare, and I have a lot of guilt about that, even though I'm not supposed to do it, right? Like for my oldest, it comes so easy, but for him, it doesn't come easy. So I feel a lot of guilt for that. Also, you can see that his confidence is not there, even though he's better than all his friends, but he can't live up to his brother. And then to make it worse, he's got a younger brother that's super advanced, my 8-year-old, way more advanced than my even oldest one. That's almost as probably going to catch up to him, right? So he's like squeezed in the middle, and they're all like 2 years apart. So I felt bad, but recently one of the happiest moments. He's been struggling. We took lessons and stuff, but in the last 10 days, he had a huge breakthrough. 10 days. I was probably 2 weeks ago, a huge breakthrough where he finally got it, right? And I always teach about the process. Be patient in the process. It's kind of like, when I was recruiting, it took me 42 people to get my first sign up. All of a sudden I got it, right? And that's why tracking is really important. We talked about it in the mastermind. It's so important to track, because if you say, how many people have you talked to? If I talked to 10, 20, I don't know, 10, 1 or 2 dozen people, there's a big difference in 1 or 2 dozen. Because my first 10 people, I couldn't even get past hello. I was so nervous. I didn't even want people to pick up the phone. But by 15, I could get a video out, right? By afterwards, I would just freeze up. By 20 something, I actually came very close to signing up people. They would actually look at the presentation, but then my lack of confidence in closing, I couldn't do it. By like 30 something, I was almost there in closing. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to leverage 3-way calls the right way, how to edify. And then by 42, I got that quote unquote lucky person. Right. And I remember it was a brutal grind for 4-6 weeks where I just struggled. And this is when I started becoming consistent, not to mention the months where I had no results with a lack of consistency. Even with consistency, it took me 4 to 6 weeks to get to 42 people just struggling, right? So, and I always talk about it's like learning to ride a bike, learning how to swim. One day you got it. And I remember the one day I got it. It was one of the best feelings in the world. I did a 3-way call. I didn't say anything. My upline did everything. And I was like, wow, that's it. And, I made $250 from that. It was so cool. So anyway, getting back to my happiest moment, my son, he's been struggling, relatively struggling, right? But if you look at the highlights, his swing was off, and then he just got it. And last Sunday, he's probably the best baseball day ever. He's 10 years old, playing against 11. Some people are 1.5 years older than him and throwing much harder. And he went 2 for 4. And with 2 stand-up doubles, just crushed in the outfield. And you easily could have had 3 stand-up doubles, but just bad luck. The shortstop was playing over. He was a man on first, and he made a leaping catch. But normally, if there wasn't a man on first, the shortstop wouldn't even be there. I could have been 3 stand-up doubles, but they're all hard hits. And afterwards, I was just so happy because it just goes back to the process. You have to trust the process, and if you do the work, one day it will happen. Now, for my other kids, it got it quick, but for him, it took a lot longer. I would say probably 3 years of frustration, but it got it. And he became so much more confident. And usually, I can even say he has more power than my oldest son ever did at that 10-year-old age, right? Of course, I've learned a lot. We've had even better and better hitting gurus to work stuff. The hitting gurus I hired from my oldest son, we drive an hour every week for 30 minutes to a 60-minute lesson, then drive an hour back, the sacrifices to make and the money I put in there, and then I teach him. But he finally had that breakthrough. And I was so happy. Just see the confidence in it, and just knowing that, hey, yeah, it's sometimes, we always talk about the process, the compound effect, and we're like, okay, when is it going to happen? But it does happen. And, God tests our patience. Sometimes it happens in 3-6 weeks. Sometimes it takes 3 years. And for my son, it takes 3 years. And even I just came back from the Hage, he's hitting it hard. So I'm super, that was one of the happiest moments to see my son do that. Anyway, enough about me. Let's go. But that's all related to network marketing, right? It's just like, for 3 years, a lot of you are not willing to pay that price, I think, of being that. And so let me talk about the main thing we start talking about on the mastermind. And these are from leaders with, we had a combined, I think, 370 years of experience, something like that. I myself, 21 years, right? We had Tom Chanel, 38 years. And talk about the trend in shifting and what if we feel like the business needs to get back to. It's like before, when I came in 20 years ago, it was all about leading with the business. Now, I never led with the products. Even though we have great products, I never led with the products because I didn't join because of the products. I joined because I want to make $1 million. I did not want to be stuck at a job working for someone. I wanted financial freedom, right? I wanted time flexibility. I wanted passive income. I didn't join just to get a couple customers and go, I want to make money fast. I want to make money. I said 5 years to hit six figures. I'm out of here. But I'm going to grind every day, 7 days a week. I know some people say Sunday off. I'm going to do 7 days a week. Sunday will give you a little bit less, but I'm doing follow-ups and stuff. And I'm going to make six figures in 5 years and then not have a job anymore, not having to do that commute I used to have to deal with, right? That's how I got started. And then what happened was 2008, when the financial crisis, we had a huge of people who are like small business entrepreneurs who lost their businesses. They joined network marketing for the money, right? For the business. And then what happened was in 2015, famous company got shut down. I think we all know that. I can say the company Vima beat FTC, say it was a pyramid scheme, and then Herbalife, another big name company, they got in trouble, and then they had to prove. And then because of that, everyone just freaks out, right? Everyone's the FTCs. So we went massively shifted to customer focused. We got to get customer focused. So if you looked at my business back then, it would probably, I would have 100 distributors to one customer. Now, of course, the distributors became customers, something like that. I definitely did not recruit any customers, right? I would say I was recruiting 50 to 60, 70 people a year for distributor, maybe one customer, two customers, right? Then I may get like one or two retail customers, probably five, right? So every 60 people I recruit, I will get 5 customers. I guess the ratio would be, actually wasn't that bad, like 1 out of 12, not 1 out of 100. I exaggerated. But then the industry, a lot of people were like 30 to 1, but then it switched to like, and people were proud, like we're customer focused, right? It became like 5 to 1, 5 distributors to 1, 5 customers to 1 distributor, then 10 to 1, 20 to 1, right? But I think now it's, when you lead with customers, that's fine, but the big income's not there. You can get 30 customers, but you're not making 30,000 a month, right? I think, and we talked about like people have lost excitement what the real value of network marketing is. And I think we need to change that again, showing the dream, because the landscape is different. Right? If you just compare customer to customer, it's so much more competitive now. So first of all, if you just get in customer make $500 a month, there's probably much easier ways to make $500 a month. I mean, you can drive Uber, like mindless stuff that you don't need stress, you don't need to attend trainings, you don't need to invest in yourself, right? Much easier way. And that model, if you told me that I can make a good part-time income, I probably wouldn't be excited about that. Right? I want to make big income. Now, if you make 500, I want to make more, make 1,000, like 5,000 a month and 10,000, 20,000 a month, right? And so now with like Uber, with Airbnb, with freelancing, you get a freelance gig, right? Put yourself as a freelancer, do some side work, right? Mow a couple lawns or whatever you do, you can make a couple $100. And also inflation, if you make $500 a month after inflation, it's not that much, right? So we've kind of made the business not as attractive. And if you look at the business model, the whole pay plan, the pay plan for network marketing, I think we kind of want to be like an affiliate marketing, but the pay plan for any network marketing company is not to reward you to get customers, right? It's rewarding you long-term. Like you can make a couple $100 immediately, yes, but the real value is the long-term. If you stay in it, you're going to make, like, I still get paid a 6-figure residual, right? Like that's the dream. The network marketing, the structure is to pay for you to make tons of money later on doing very, very little, right? So because the money's at the top, for later on, when you get to the top, there's not as much money when you get a customer, right? It's not that. And by the way, you can't pay everyone. The company can only pay a certain amount of money. So you can't pay the leaders as just as much as the people at the bottom. So if you're going to just get customers, it's cool to get a part-time income. But I think now, because of inflation and everything, that part-time income is not as much. And there's so many other options to make that part-time income. And I think network marketing, we all agree that it needs to get back focused and leading with the business, leading with the money, because that's what got me excited, right? And that gets me excited still today. Like I see someone all of a sudden, one of my proudest moments was one of my leaders able to quit his job to go full-time because he made 60,000. And now he's earned over 2-3 million in the profession. That was one of my proudest moments. It wasn't because he got 10 customers. I mean, 10 customers was cool. It was a short-term goal that led to a long-term thing. So we all agree, we need to start focusing on leading with the business. And because we need new blood in the profession as well, right? If you see the profession, and I think, there's a huge spike during COVID, but that was like not a real spike. People think, oh, we're so good, I'm a leader, I made during COVID. In COVID, everything was easy. Everything that they had to do was staying at home, made a lot of money, right? Sports cards, for example, I collect sports. I got back into the hobby, right? I still collect sports cards, but not as hardcore as back then, right? Because there wasn't much stuff to do. So network marketing automatically a huge spike during COVID, but now that COVID's over, it's kind of back to normal, right? And I think right now, especially, and the other thing about spending on the basics, we're talking about spending time on the basics. The basics. What this business is network marketing. Network means networking, right? At the end of the day, social media is great, Zoom is great, but it's a people-to-people business, face-to-face business. And we need to do more of that, right? Like, I think the days of not needing to talk to someone, just messaging people and that's not, you can get customers like that, but very little retention. And that's like something that I don't think anyone can argue against, right? Or dispute that. The retention is not, the online stuff just does not retain nor duplicate as well as face-to-face. And I'll give an example. If that was not true, then the church will not meet. Right? People can do online services. Why do you have to meet? Because there's a difference. We're humans. We need a face-to-face. And that's why I come up from the mastermind. I could have attended this mastermind Zoom, but it wouldn't be the same. It's not the same next to the person. It's not the same like, getting dinner with Javier de Miguel Cole, right? Like he's someone who did one-on-one coaching with him. Super proud. He went from 5,000, now it's almost 30,000 a month. So hanging out, catching up with them, right? Going to the beach, hanging out, just talking about life, talking about potential family, right? A small chit-chat, hanging out with Tom Chanel, going swimming, right? Or it was a great chocolate lab, and Todd Falcone and I were just throwing the stick to the dog, letting him run and just chit-chatting, right? There's the magic of that. Or, Rob Sperry riding me in the car and just talking random about tennis. And the relationship building is face-to-face. I think as an industry, we need to get back to that. And one of the things that Todd Falcone, he shared really well was one thing that's helped him with success over like 30 years is like, every day he randomly reaches out to 5 people to see how they're doing, not for see how the business, and he doesn't ask for anything, just checking in on them. And Tom Chanel gave great inspiration. He wasn't even going to speak, but he just shared something that really touched my heart. It's like, lead with your heart, not with your brain. If you lead with your brain, it's always like senseless, right? Is manipulative. It is self-serving. Believe your heart to love. And Tom was one of the best human beings like that. He would just randomly message me when I least expected, comment about something, and I still remember the first couple of times I got those texts. Really, really means a lot. So, leading with the heart, just relationship building, giving, goes back to if you how to win friends and influence people. If you help enough people get what they want in life, you get everything you want in life. So one of the takeaways is, hey, everyone needs to spend like an hour just reaching out to people. Put in your calendar. If you don't have an hour, 10, 15 minutes, put in your calendar. If it's not in your calendar, it's not going to happen. Reach out to people without any agenda, right? Just, hey, how's it going? How you been, right? Checking on people, because we need to get back to the core basics is what networking is. And you can reach out to them online. Just, hey, message, how's it going? Comment on the post and, hey, just comment on something they posted on. But we need to do more of that. And if you're not, that's why you're stuck, because, network marketing, prospecting is about timing. There's a time in my life I would never do network marketing, right? But it caught me at the right time. The same thing for you. You're listening to this, you're watching this on the YouTube channel. There's a time you would never do network marketing, but it got you at the right time, right? It's prospecting is about timing. And I always talk about the best prospects are the ones in transition, whether in between jobs, or they're frustrated with jobs, or they want to change. So make sure you touch and follow up with people. We call ping, just touching, checking on them. Couple other things before we wrap up is another thing Darren Kidd talked about it. Darren Kidd's been a professional like that 30 years, was you can't change the people around you. I think John Maxwell, you can't change the people around you. So if you want to change people, you can't change them, but you can change the people around you, right? You can stop hanging out with them, hang out with different people. That's the reason I go to these masterminds, right? A lot of these people, those people that are way more successful than the general people I normally see face-to-face with, spend time with, right? So that is something. And when you do that, when you put yourself in the company of others, you elevate. Naturally, you get lifted up, right? So don't waste your time trying to change people, but change the people you're hanging out with, change the people around you. Another one is, if you're struggling with the business, it goes back to your dream, how vivid and clear, because we attract what we think. And I've been doing a lot of research about this, about mindfulness, about even the positive energy, right? If you're not clear what you want, how can you attract it? How do you know? It's like kind of so for example, if you want a certain car, you pay special attention to, or right, or the cars are similar to that. Or once you get that car, you see everyone has that car, right? Or you got a new phone, so all of a sudden everyone else has that phone. because we attract what we think. So are you thinking about what you really want? Are you really crystal clear? And if you're not, that's why you're stuck. That's why you're not getting it. And the other thing is, assume, instead of being negative, that it's not going to happen, assume that's going to happen. Now, that's not necessarily true. That doesn't, just being positive doesn't guarantee success. But I always say negativity guarantees failure. If you're not assuming it's going to happen, it's then definitely not going to happen, because you're not even looking for opportunities, right? So I'm assuming things are going to happen. So I'm going to a baseball game. My team, I told you, my 8-year-old is playing on one of the top teams. I don't know any of their parents. I don't know the coach. They just invited us on Instagram, sorted us, researched us, right? Now, I did talk to them on the phone, but I'm assuming that thing's going to lead to something, right? So assume positive. And then you can't, there's another good quote. You can't change life overnight, but you can change direction of your life overnight. I love that. Right? So maybe you're stuck right now. You can't change overnight, but you can change the direction and then go back to the compound effect. You got to trust that process. You got to do what it takes every single day. Just like my son, he was doing the swings every day, right? And with my son, if we had that hitting guru 3 years earlier, he probably could have cut that time by 70%. He probably got in 1 year himself. And every person's different. By the way, also assumes that I have deep in back of my mind, my son, he's still second one, was so far behind my oldest one, and now he's caught up a lot, maybe even better. Long term, he could even be better than my oldest one. Not that I'm comparing, but you never know. Just because you're stuck today doesn't mean you're going to be stuck forever, right? You never know. You see all these cases. I love sports because it's a good example. The first round picks are definitely not in the NFL draft. It just happened. Doesn't mean there'll be the superstars. Often like the 5th round picks. Hey, the last guy, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft became the starting quarterback of a Super Bowl team last year. The 49ers, I can't think of his name, right? But he was, what's his name? I can't remember his name for right now, but he was the last pick in 12 rounds, the last player in those, I think, was it 12 rounds, 12 times 30, 500 players drafted ahead of him, but he developed into that. So anything can happen, right? When Tom Brady was one of the greatest quarterback, I think was drafted in the 5th round, right? 5th round, 150 players ahead of him. You just never know, right? So your current situation doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. Last thing is just time management is so important. People systemize things. Like if you can pay someone to do it, just do it. Successful people like that. And you can't afford not to have someone doing the chores, do stuff. Just systemize things, automate it, delegate it, so that you have more time working on that DMO, working on the income producing activities. And the last thing is, think about the dream, right? Now you have the dream. What would happen if you don't do this? What is the pain and the consequences? I think a lot of times, like we kind of, we just need a couple $100 a month. Life will be okay. No, it's not okay. Let's go. Let's lift up this profession. Let's go and take things to the next level. I got really fired up. I'm working on different bigger projects. That gave me some ideas for ML Nation. A lot of you know I'm also branching out to coaching people from outside of direct selling. But network marketing still got a huge part of my heart. And we're going to be doing a lot of major things in ML Nation in the next. I'll be speaking at conventions, company events the next couple of months. And you can stay tuned for that. So anyway, awesome. That's a little recap here. Obviously, you can tell I'm excited. I always want to keep this short, but end up going for 23 minutes. Hopefully this is helpful. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to your favorite podcast. That's the least you can do. Just take a lot of my time to prepare this and to do this on a Saturday. Now I'm going to rush off, get my kid fed, make meals, go to the baseball tournament. But hit back on me on social media, subscribe, leave us a review on the podcast platform on YouTube as well. And make sure you apply something. Hey, start leading with the business. Do you agree with this, what I said? Or you don't agree? Maybe some of you, this is too hardcore. Then let me know. Okay, let me know. I'm interested to start that dialogue individually. It's not a bot or anything on social media. I actually reply back to every one of your messages. So I'm interested to see your opinion on this episode. So anyway, that's all I have. I'm still loud and proud of this amazing part of this profession. Amazing mastermind. Definitely you want to check out the next one, Leaders of Leaders. It's going to be in Spain. If you're a 6-figure earner, reach out to me. And hey, that's what I have. Go be blessed. Take action. Think about what I just shared, what changes you need to make, and go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life. God bless you all.